Was you trying to make me cry in front of everybody, man?
Yeah, that's the point.
One word of advice. Buy TV, don't spend it on Hooker.
Super Russ. I'm the last character on my Justice League team with these 4 babes. Yo, what's up, everybody? We are here with episode 31 of It's Simply Super, and we are talking video games this week. What you got,
Once
man?
again?
Yeah, for the second or third time, maybe?
I don't know, mate. It'll always come back to video games at some point.
Yeah.
I haven't prepared anything this week. However, I did bring some stuff to show that might start conversations too.
Okay, cool.
But I guess the first thing, actually, do you want to chat out a couple of people who just jumped in?
Oh, yeah. What's up, Troy's Reviews? What's going on, man? Neil's Comics and Video Games. How you doing this week, dude? A real quick shout out for Neil. He created merch on Redbubble, and all the proceeds he makes is going to charity for veterans. So be sure and go check out Neil's Comics and Gaming's Redbubble store. Neil, feel free to drop that link in the description in the chat, brother. Czar, what's going on, man? Yo,
5 shots away from 50. T-shirt guy, what's up?
Yeah, I'm rocking the Neil Adams Batman and Joker shirt this week.
I don't think we've never worn them on the same day, have we?
I don't think so, man.
One day we'll wear that with the red flannelette shirt over it.
We got to coordinate, man.
All right. So, the first thing I thought I'd bring up was, did you hear the news about Gotham Knights?
I did, man. That bummed me out.
It bummed me out too, dude, because I was very excited that I didn't have to buy a new console just to play the game, and they were going to release it on PS4. And then B, I'm going to have to buy a PS5, and you're an Xbox guy. Hashtag Xbox guy.
Well, I mean, I wonder if it's going to be cross-platform, because a lot of games are doing that online now.
They're doing what?
They're doing cross-platform games online.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Call of Duty.
Really?
You can play Xbox, PC, or PS4 with Call of Duty. And even on the new WWE 2K22 game that just came out, you can download Community Creations cross-platform. So there's a chance that if it's cross-platform and you find a PS5, we can still play.
Well, I sell PS5s. Dude, I see them all the time, just so you know.
I still haven't seen one over here, bro.
So we have
as soon as they come online, they're just gone.
So we have a big waiting list. Like we took names for a while, and the name got up to like hundreds of names, so we had to stop the list. But they come in all the time, right? And what some people do is they go to multiple shops, but we don't allow that. So a lot of orders get cancelled because the whole thing is we're trying to stop flippers from getting them. So if someone comes to collect one, we check their name, and if they've already picked one up previously, we tell them that you've already picked one up. We can't give you another one. So that's
a good policy, man.
Yeah, so
if they did that over here, they would probably be more available. But as it is now,
I had a friend who wanted one, so I messaged him and said, "Hey, man, we got some in. You've got to be quick because they literally will be gone within like a couple of hours."
Yeah.
So he came down, and then he called his friend and said, "Hey, man, they've got them here. Do you want me to get one for you and you pay me back?" And his friend's like, "Yeah, get me one." So he tried to get 2, and they said, "Yeah, no, you can't buy 2." So,
are they actually in store, or is it still online only over there too?
I think like last week we had like a digital one in stock, but not a disc. So the disc ones are much harder to get.
Yeah.
Every now and then you'll have a couple of digital ones sitting around. But what will happen is when an order comes in, more often than not, there'll be like canceled orders because they've already grabbed one from somewhere else or something like that. And there'll be like, 3 or 4 to sell. So Sarah's got her name on the list, but she keeps getting pushed down because she doesn't have the money. So she's like, once I have the money and there's one available, then she'll get one. But now I need to get one.
Yeah.
Ain't sharing consoles.
And actually, earlier today, I was watching a bigger YouTuber. I think it's Dreamcast guy, and the
Hashtag
rumor,
Dreamcast guy.
yeah, the rumor got confirmed that they are making a PS5 Pro that will probably be out next year. So they're already making pro versions of these consoles, and you still can't get like the original console.
It's ridiculous.
Really quick, hey, to Puff Comics 83, what's going on, Sean? He's been dropping some awesome MegaCon videos on his channel. And Shop for Comics popped in. What's going on, brother? And Tony Fit just popped in. What's going on, man?
Yeah, so what have you been playing on the Xbox?
Actually, just yesterday, I finally started playing Resident Evil 7. I've been a huge Resident Evil fan from the original games on PlayStation 1 all the way up into current. But when 7 came out, I skipped it originally because I didn't think it was going to be any good with the whole change to the game mechanics and everything.
Yeah.
But when Resident Evil 8 came out last year, the year before last, it might have been last year, I picked that up and I love that game. So finally, Resident Evil 7 was on Game Pass, so I started playing that yesterday, and it's awesome, dude. That game is like, it's like on another level of scares, man. It even made me like jump scare a couple times and lean back in my seat like, oh my God.
I can't play them. I cannot play. So something I've been wanting to do. So I don't know, did you ever see any of my gaming videos I did with the green screen?
Yeah,
and
the VR Iron Man one comes to mind.
Yeah, the Iron Man one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I've had it I wouldn't have no idea what it is, but Sarah lent me Resident Evil in VR. And I was like, that's like, I can't play that game just with a controller. I think it'd be funny if I made the video of me playing it in VR. I'd be terrible. I might die of a heart attack. Like
Resident Evil 7, man, has some serious jump scares. I mean, I've watched a playthrough of the game a couple years ago, and some of the jump scares still got me, man.
I don't like getting. I don't know. I don't like dying, so it's like when some scary thing's chasing after you, I lose it. When I was younger, like a teenager, I think it was Silent Hill and Resident Evil. I used to ask my friend who lived down the street to come over and play it, and I'd just watch him play it. I watched him finish one of them. Was it Resident Evil with the inside out dogs?
Well, I mean, they had zombie dogs where the skin, the flesh was rotting, and they had like.
I used to get that and Silent Hill mixed up.
I never actually played Silent Hill, any of the Silent Hill games.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure from memory that was pretty.
I was more a Resident Evil guy, and back then I just had to like pick and choose a lot because I was little and didn't have a job or money.
Did you though on those old consoles get your console chipped?
What do you mean?
So down here you'd pay people, and we would call it getting your console chipped. So they'd and there was all different ways of doing it. So you could play burnt games.
Oh no, I didn't know that was a thing back then.
So on PlayStation, like it kind of got wiped out by PlayStation 3, but PlayStation 1 and 2 was heavy down here. So what you would do is you get your console chipped, and there'd be people who would like advertise on like newspapers or whatever, and they would like burn you video games, and like it'd be like, $20 for like 50 games and things like that. Man. And they will just deliver you a spindle of burnt games. So I had like hundreds of PlayStation 1 and 2 games, and like you just go through them, and most of them you play them for about 10-15 minutes and go next. Yeah. Keep trying them all. So
yeah, I didn't even know you could do that, man. I
That was
do
massive.
I remember when I first got my PlayStation 1, it came with a like a little like postcard that you could fill out and send in for 5 free PlayStation magazines. So I did that, and each one of the magazines would come with a demo disc, and each demo disc had like 5 or 10 games on it where you could play like the first level of each game and stuff.
Yeah, like demos. Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember like that's where I tried out Tomb Raider, Jet Moto, like all the games I just had like demo versions of for like forever.
So with the hey Sharon, what's up?
Yo, Sharon, thanks for dropping in.
Actually, a few people jumped in. Yeah, so the way it would work is so my PlayStation was shipped and was good. All you had to do is put the burnt game in and it would just work. But some of my other people that are new, like so my brother, they had this disc you had to put in first, and you have to select something and then eject the disc and then put the burnt disc in and it would play. My other friend would literally have to put a proper game in, and when the PlayStation logo loads up, you have to eject the thing and then take it out and put the burnt disc in, and then it would play the burnt disc. So there was all these different versions of it, which is
That's
weird.
pretty cool, man.
So it was a different time. But yeah, by the time PlayStation sort of 3 came around, that stuff all sort of stopped.
I remember when they first came out with the Game Sharks on the PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
You like put it in, selected the cheat you wanted or whatever for that game, and then you had to like take the Game Shark out and put the regular game in, and then you would like load it up with all those cheats and stuff.
Yeah, cheat codes are pretty cool. Speaking of which, I've got some stuff here that I'd show to that's video game related. That will probably spark some conversations. Just because you said cheat code, because one game I used to love using cheat codes on was GTA. Because when I first started playing GTA, I never used to play the game properly. I would play the game up until I got stuck. And like when I say stuck, I mean like I give up very quickly. And then I'll just put the cheat codes in and put God mode on or whatever you call it, and then just cause chaos, right? You would just run around blowing everything up, and like you'd get like 6 stars on the police thing, and you'd have helicopters and tanks chasing you. It was so awesome. But I
appreciate that, Neil. You're the man, dude. He picked up one of my shirts recently.
Yeah, I still got to do it, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna one day when I'm just gonna got a bit of money, I'm gonna buy like a couple of Redbubble shirts from community people. We'll get a Neil one. You said Neil just started one, yeah, on Redbubble?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. So I brought my GTA collector's editions. This was the first GTA I actually played. So GTA 4.
I think the only one I've ever played was actually San Andreas.
Yeah, so
I think that was PS3.
I wanted to play San Andreas, but it was like the very first mission. You have to escape from these gangster dudes while you're on your BMX. And I couldn't do it. They just kept because they're in a car and they're shooting you. You're on a BMX and you're supposed to go. I couldn't do it. It was like the very first thing.
I had to get my older brother to beat that for me.
But it was like the first mission. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I never played that game through pretty much at all. I just whatever. I'll just start blowing stuff up. So this was the first GTA that I actually sat down and I was like, you know what? I'm going to play through the story. And it was so good, man. I didn't finish it because the closer I got to the end, I was so close to the end. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do when I finish this game? Like, I was kind of over the whole I could like go up and blow stuff up for no reason, but I could only do it for about 20 minutes before I get bored of it, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, this one here, I was like, oh, I really actually like the game now. And then GTA 5 came out. This is the collector's edition. Look how thick that box is.
Man, did it come with like a statue or something?
No, so it came with this like money box. Not like a lock box sort of thing. Which I don't know where it is, but I do have it. And it also came with like a Rockstar bag and all this Rockstar sort of stuff, which is pretty cool. But this one I finished. So this was the first GTA game I finished, and this was the one we had 3. Did you play this one?
No.
Dude, like there was 3 characters, and you can switch between them pretty much at any point. So if you just get bored of one character or you get stuck on something, you can just switch to one of the other ones.
That's
And
pretty
the
cool.
camera would just shoot up into the sky, and then like go across the map and find the other person, and then just like drop you back in there. And it was so good, dude. Like this game is one of my favorites, possibly my favorite. Well, I did my top 5 games video, and I did say that this was my favorite game of all time. So
That's awesome, man. Sharon representing with a shirt too.
yeah, I gotta get some. See, I want to. I was gonna get the Lickworthy art thing that I've got. Done by that chick online on Instagram. I want to put that on some shirts, but I don't think I want to sell it because I don't know how that goes with Even though I technically bought the art, it's my commission.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works with like me being able to sell that. So I was thinking if I did it, I would just give it away for free, like in giveaways or AOKs and things like that. But I do think I wanted to get a shirt, maybe just with my little logo on it, and then maybe that says #Lickworthy on the back or something like that.
That would be cool, man.
Yeah, I thought that'd be funny. But I don't know. I feel like I'd just do it on my own. I don't know if I'd use the Redbubble thing.
Yeah. Yeah, cause I'm not sure on Redbubble if you can put a graphic on the front and back of the shirt.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think there's an option for that on there.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be something you'd have to get like custom made.
Yeah. I need to blow my nose, so I'm just gonna quickly. I'm still listening in. I'll ask you a question so you can talk. So you're not blank faced. How do you get your stuff onto Redbubble? That's a good one. Tell the people.
Well, I mean, all I did actually Sharon was the one that helped me. I sent her a message and she called me and like helped me figure out like the process of what to do. So I just created the design and uploaded the first one on there, and you can pick and choose what products you want it on. You can choose certain colors, like, and now they've recently added hats to it too, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, Sharon helped me figure all that stuff out.
And how did you go about with all your designs, like the cat that's wearing the Super Rus thing?
Well, I knew Sharon loved cats, so I would for sure make a sale if I put a Super Rus logo on a cat and put it on. I know I got a lot of animal lovers on the friends list, so I knew I'd make at least a couple sales from that for sure.
Oh, this guy. Well, what else have we got? All right. I'm pretty sure I've shown these. I might have even shown these last time we did video games, but I figured it sparked some conversation. So this is my Mega Drive Mini.
Oh, nice.
So they released these like mini consoles, and this sucks. Like this is so bad.
Oh, really? What's up, Mad Spidey?
Mad Spidey's got a Road to 300 subscriber giveaway at the moment, so people should check that out. He's giving away. Did you see what he's giving away?
Yeah. That's why I quickly made the video, man. That first Prowler belongs on my shelf, I think.
Yeah, no, mate, it's mine. He even predicted. He goes, "Let's say SimpleSimon won." I was like, "Oh, let's #rig this." So this sucks. This thing, like, I bought the Nintendo ones, which I'll show you in a sec. But I bought this, and the controllers are wireless to the little console, but they use infrared. So if it's not line of sight, it just doesn't work. And
causes a lot of button delay and stuff too.
Yeah, and the games are just kind of, I don't know, they just don't run that well. Or maybe that's how games were back then. But it's got a lot of games on there. So there's like 80 games, which is good. So
does it have the old school Mortal Kombat?
Yeah. It's got Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. It's got all these Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, I kind of want to play this now. It's got all the Sonic the Hedgehog games.
The nostalgia, man, is such a big part of old school gaming.
Alex Kidd. I remember there was like they released the console where it came with Alex Kidd built into the console. Altered Beast. I remember playing that when I got this.
Is there a game on there called Comic Zone?
I literally was looking at it as you said. I was like,
"Oh, really?" I
It
love
says
that game,
Comic
man.
Book,
I
and
used
you
I
said-
used to rent it all the time.
I literally was looking at it going, what's Comic Zone? And then you said it.
Oh, you never played it?
No, I don't remember that.
'Cause from what I remember is the main guy is a comic book artist, and what
Yeah.
he's drawing starts to come to life, and he gets sucked into his drawing and has to play it out.
Sucked into his drawing or sucked into the comic book?
Sucked into the comic book that he's drawing.
Oh, but is it from the very? So he just gets sucked into the one comic book, or is it like different comic books each level or something like that?
I don't know. I never beat the game.
That was
I couldn't get past the third or fourth level, I don't think. But I don't know how much money I put into renting that game, like every couple of weeks trying to beat it. It was addictive, man.
I had a similar game. So I played a game on PC back in the day called Noctropolis. And I got a feeling it was actually the same thing. This guy was a comic book writer and he got sucked into this comic like this at the start. I was like a teenager, right? So at the start, this vampire comes out of the comic book and I'm pretty sure she gets her boobs out. So I was just like, holy crap. I'm going to play this game through.
That sounds like Darkstalkers or something.
And then he gets sucked into the game, into the comic book. And then there's this chick who's like the lead chick in the company, and you sort of work with her. And at one point, she gets her boobs out. And I was like, oh my God, this game's the best game ever.
That was usually like the time when your parents like walk in the room or something while you're playing.
It was literally, I think it was only those two bits. And I'm starting to think, I think the very first bit, it was only, you didn't see it a lot. But I remember specifically when the main character, I was like, what the hell? I was like 13. So I was like, this is unbelievable.
Best game ever.
Yeah. Golden Axe. I remember Golden Axe. They were fun. Yeah, this has got a lot of games on there, man. I probably should give this another crack. I just found that the control. I think they released another version of it, which was better, like was made better, so it didn't suck as hard. And then there's the classic Nintendo Mini, and then the SNES. So these you could also these don't come. So this came with 30 games, the original one.
Yeah,
which is not that many. And then this one came with only look at this, 20 plus 1. Just say 21.
Yeah. they needed to like space out the graphic to make it look
21 doesn't look right, so it's gonna be 20 plus 1.
That's weird, man.
So you can get these hacked too. So I think I got this one. Actually, which one was it? I got one of them hacked. So my mate at work just did it for me, and it's almost like putting an emulator on there. But the thing is, so this has its own menu system, right? So when the people hack it or whatever they do, so I've got one of them. I've got like almost 100 games on it. I literally cannot remember which one it is. But it all looks legit. So it's all like the same menu system and all that sort of stuff. Like it's not like you turn it on and it's just a completely different system. You turn it on and you've just got another 80 games on there. Like,
yeah, you would think you'd think the company would release it with all those if they could. If it's that easy, they could have easily released it with all those games and just charged a little more for it.
Or just given it like internet so you could do updates and stuff.
Yeah.
Or if they were really smart, they could have just made an online store and charged like $1 a game.
Yeah.
Like, which one was it? So, and another thing, do you remember Punch Out?
Yeah.
So, did you know this? I didn't know this. So, I had Punch Out, so I was super excited, but it wasn't called Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It was just called Punch Out.
Yeah, I think they ended up changing the name of it because they lost the license to put Tyson in it or something.
That's right. Yeah, correct.
Wasn't the main character's name like Mr. Dream or something?
Yeah.
Instead of Mike Tyson, they just kind of switched names.
Yeah, it was something bizarre, and I was like, "This is weird," but I'll play it. Also, it has Final Fantasy 1 on there, and I was like, Final Fantasy 1? I've never played a Final Fantasy. Maybe I should start from the beginning.
The only one I played was 15 that came out on the PlayStation 4 a couple years ago now.
These Nintendo ones were good though. I actually had I had a couple of weeks where I was actually playing these, and they were pretty fun. Oh, dude, Mario Kart was so hard to play because
Really?
the graphics they hurt your eyes because it's still in the same sort of 64-bit graphic or whatever. It was not even 64, right?
I think it was just like 8 back then, 8-bit.
Yeah, 8-bit
Yeah.
graphics. It hurts your eyes looking at it on these big TVs now.
Yo, what's up, Ben? Chop and
So,
drop. What's going on, brother?
I learned something as well recently. So I've been watching this series on Netflix called High Score, and it's kind of like a history of video games sort of documentary series. So like episode 1 was about Atari when that was like dominating, and then episode 2 was like how Atari lost popularity, and then Nintendo sort of came up, and the third episode was about role-playing games and things like that. But it was interesting. So did you know Donkey Kong, like Nintendo were getting sued by Universal Studios or something because
Oh,
they were
really?
saying that Donkey Kong was a ripoff of King Kong. So they went to court and everything like that, and this dude, the lawyer who was defending Nintendo, did all this research and stuff, and then he won the court case because like you can't, that's not right, and you guys know, and Universal knew that what they were doing was not right, and they won the court case, and the lawyer's name was something Kirby. Yeah, Kirby was his last name. So the character Kirby was actually named after that lawyer who won them that court case.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember the Kirby games, man.
Yeah, I never played one, and I only learned recently because I think Sarah had like a Kirby demo on her Switch, and she was like, "Do you know what his power is?" I was like, "What?" She goes, "You suck people." He sucks people in and takes their powers or something, or becomes the thing they eat or something.
Yeah.
It was,
Kirby's power, if he ate me, would be anxiety.
Yeah, I used to play this game on original Nintendo as well, which no one remembers, but it was called A Boy and His Blob. And no one remembers it when I ask them. And you were a boy and you had this blob thing that followed you, and you would feed it jelly beans, and different colored jelly beans would turn it into different things. As an example, like one of them would turn him into a ladder. So if you needed to get up to something, you would give him that jelly bean and it would turn him into a ladder, and you climb up and get the thing. And it was a really cool game, but no one remembers it.
There was a lot of weird games like on the old school Nintendo, man. Especially like licensed movie games. They had like a Home Alone game. They had Terminator. They had RoboCop. They had a Friday the 13th game where Jason
That
was
was
just like this purple sprite.
Total Recall. I had that as a kid, and I couldn't pass the first level. I'd get all the way to the end and just didn't know how to kill the boss. So I had it on this, and like straight away, I was like, "Oh, I just had to press down to duck and shoot." That's all it was. I couldn't believe it.
I remember I'd actually rented a couple games for the regular Nintendo, and one of them was a RoboCop game. And I was sitting there playing it when my older brother came in with a Sega and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And that was just like a head explosion moment. I'm like, oh my God, you got a Sega. He plugged it up. And I played Sonic 2 till my thumbs were flat from the controller, man.
Yeah. So tell me your memory of that, man, because I've only watched 3 episodes of that series that I was talking about. But in the trailer, there's a bit where they were talking about Sega, and Sega was like, "We're coming for Nintendo," sort of thing.
Yeah.
So was Sega, because for memory as a kid, I think it was just like a loyalty thing. You started with Nintendo, so when Sega came out, you would play like back in the day. Remember, you'd go to like I guess like your Walmart or whatever you guys have over there,
Yeah.
and they'd have like a console set up so you could play them. You guys have that?
Yeah.
So that was like the only time that I would play Sega because that was the only chance I had. I did end up buying one, but what was your memory of Sega? Like, was it like, oh, this is new and cooler, or what was the deal?
Man, I thought it was like never going to get better than that at the time, man. I started with Sonic 2. There was a couple of wrestling games on it I remember renting. There was a game called Vector Man, that game Comic Zone that we were talking about earlier. And I remember one game. It was our video store was called Pick a Flick, and they had an exclusive game just for them for the Sega Genesis, and it was called Booger Man. It was kind of like, it was pretty much like Earthworm Jim. I don't know if you remember that game or not,
Yeah.
but it was a lot like that.
But you're a booger.
Yeah. And as a kid, I thought that was like hilarious.
So I did have a Sega now that I think of it. So
What's
my
up,
parents,
Surfer?
what's up, Surfer? My parents took me on a holiday to Hong Kong when I was like, would have been 19, end of 91, start of 92. And I bought a Game Gear. So back then, everyone had Game Boys, right? So I came back from overseas and I had a Game Gear. So the Sega one, right?
Yeah.
It was color. I had the sickest games on there. I had Sonic. I had all the Sonics. Sonic 1, 2, maybe 3. I don't know if 3 at the time was out, but had all like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck games. Mortal Kombat 1. It was so sick. And that was my real introduction to Sega. And then eventually, remember, I did buy a Master System, but I didn't use it much. I think I bought it for Street Fighter because I was really into Street Fighter when I was a kid. Yeah. But I remember specifically what happened was when I bought my Mega Drive. Wait, you guys call that something different, don't you? I think we've discussed this.
Yeah, I've heard it called a Mega Drive before.
What do you guys call it?
We just call it the Sega Genesis. But I've heard people say Mega Drive.
So it has like the controller it came with had 6 buttons, right? The original one only had 3, but then the Mega Drive 2 or whatever came out and had 6 buttons. So I had that, and the console stopped. I had an issue after like a week, right? Yeah, I definitely talked about this last time on the video game thing, and they I took it back, and they're like, "Yeah, we have to send it off to repair." And I was like, "It's like a week old, right?" So I was like, "Yeah, whatever." They sent it off for like 3 months. Comes back, and it comes back with the old controller with 3 buttons. I was like, I had the 6-button controller when I sent it. They're like, "Nah, this is the one you would." And I'm like,
they ripped you off, man.
I was a kid, so what was it to do, right?
Yeah.
So, oh man. So
do you remember the attachment that came on it I think it was called the 32X, and you could plug it in the top of the Sega, and it had it doubled like from 16-bit to 32-bit graphics.
Really? That's pretty cool. How is that?
I'm not sure how they did that, man.
Extra memory in there or something.
Yeah. But it was like this attachment thing that fit where the game would fit, and then you put the regular game on top of that.
Well, we had that for the original Nintendo. Like, it was called a Honeybee. So it was like a half cartridge. So all the games all the Nintendo games in Asia were different. They weren't the big square disc. They were half of that because the Nintendos in Asia weren't the same. You know how the original Nintendo, you slide the disc, you slide the thing in here.
Yeah.
In Asia, it was half a cartridge size, and it would just stick into the top, like it just like clip into the top. So if you got those games and you brought them over here, you could buy this thing called Honeybee, and it was like the bottom half of the cartridge. You would stick the game to the top half, and it would form the big square, and then you could slide that into one of those, and you could get like things that were like 100 games in one. So it'd have like Bomberman, but it'd have like 10 versions of it. It'd have Bomberman 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're like, there's only one Bomberman, and then all be like different modded versions and things like that.
I've never heard of that before, man. That's pretty cool. The only thing that comes to mind, like where you slide the cartridge in anything for a Nintendo, was when they did the Game Genie thing. That was like the original version of the Game Shark. That was like Nintendo's cheat like thing.
Does that mean the cartridge was sticking out of the thing when you actually?
A little bit, I think. Because I remember you put like the cartridge into the Game Genie and then inserted it into the system. So I think it was sticking out a little bit.
Interesting. Do you remember up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start?
Yeah. Yeah. That code was like iconic, man.
That was the best. Yeah, cheats are like back then to find out cheats was, I mean, that worked on almost every game, on
Yeah.
Nintendo anyway. But as time went on, like the only way you could find cheats was like through gaming magazines. Like, did you ever get buying gaming magazines and
Yeah.
stuff?
Well, I couldn't buy them when I was little, but I would go in there with like a pen and paper and like look at the codes and like quickly look around and try to write down as many codes as I could before anybody saw me and said anything because I couldn't afford the magazine.
That's funny. I wish I still had some of those.
And didn't have cell phones where you could like snap a quick pic of the page to have the all the codes in one place back then. So
How easy is it now? It's crazy.
yeah, now you just they don't really have cheat codes for games now though. I kind of
Well,
wish they
like
would bring that back, man.
what I thought was very cool with GTA, with the cheats on GTA, is you dial a phone number into your phone. That's how you activate it. I thought that was very cool.
That was a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
Because I remember like a lot of the games, man. I don't know if it's just because I was like too little to be able to play them properly, but I remember a lot of the old school games were like super tough to beat, man.
Oh yeah. Some
Like,
of them were made to be impossible to beat.
Yeah.
That's how they
Have you ever played a game called Driver? It was on the PlayStation 1.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
Yeah.
Loved
Just the opening like tutorial level where you had to do all those stunts in like a 60-second time limit or something. Took me so long to get past that opening tutorial.
Yeah, see, I didn't play the game too much. I mean, I played it a little bit, but I really enjoyed that mode where you just had to survive for as long as you could. Remember that? So me and my friends would just play that all night, like just who can survive the longest. Yeah, that was sick. And then I don't know if it was Driver 3. They made it open world, and you actually a character who get out of the car and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so.
And also in those games, you could do like a video editing thing. They had like a video editing thing where you could like save like a video and you could edit it from different angles and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. That stuff was awesome, man. Like that technology back then was like mind blowing. Now it's like standard practice on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that they kind of take away some good features too. Like, what was really good, like with like THQ when they were making the wrestling games, every year they added extra stuff, but they would never take away the old stuff. The old stuff was almost always there. But nowadays, I find with games, they'll keep bringing out a new one every year, and then you'll lose things that you used to be able to do that you can't do anymore. So
Yeah, I know it's weird. And what gets me is when they do that, when they take out features and then they bring it back in the next year's game and call it a new feature. I'm like, that was like 2 games ago. It's not a new feature. Or when they like leave it out on purpose and then put it in as a DLC later, so you have to pay extra for it.
I never played Saints Row, actually, Neil. I know a lot of people actually did like it. It was a bit more silly, wasn't it? But I never.
Yeah,
I remember
think
one
so.
of the original Saints Rows. I watched my friend play, and I didn't like it because a lot of the missions had a time limit for memory. Like there was a lot of things you had to do, and you had to do it within a time limit. I was like, well, that's kind of silly.
I've never played one of the games, but I think I saw a playthrough of Saints Row the Third on YouTube back when it came out. And if I remember right, one of the voice actors for the game was Hulk Hogan.
That's really funny.
So I thought that was pretty cool. If I might be mixing it up with another game, but I think it was Saints Row the Third.
Oh, dude, the glitches. I did one time. I had a crazy glitch happen in the UFC game, and I tried to go back, and you can record, like save the recording.
Yeah,
and the system wouldn't let me. It said there was some sort of error. But dude, it was so funny, dude. Like this guy was like, he just like flew out of the cage, like literally just like flew out, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, he's there in the crowd, and he started like doing this weird dance towards the like from the outside coming towards the. Oh, it was the funniest
those are
thing.
always wild, man.
I couldn't save it.
I've had a couple glitches like that, similar in WWE 2K22. One I got when I was actually streaming. I got like merged, like caught into a cage and just kind of got sucked around and couldn't get out. and another one where I was had a ladder set up next to an announce table, and I went to climb the ladder, and somehow the announce table glitched into me, and I just started
Oh,
floating up in the air.
yeah, I think. Yeah, I remember you I think you should tell me that one. Or did you wait? Or did you? You didn't post that, did you?
Yeah, I made it a short.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that. I
Yeah.
did see that. Yeah, those wrestling games, man, that was my life. Like for a while, that was like from the age of like probably 16 to like maybe 19. Those wrestling games, or maybe even 20. Those wrestling games were my life.
Yeah. What's up, comic book worm?
Something, man. I just was seeing something about someone saying I can't see the comment. Surfer, I can't see the comment. Yeah, YouTube's been weird lately. I've been a lot of comments that will come up. I'll get the notification, and you can see it in the notification, but then you can't reply to it. It won't be listed on the video.
Yeah, I've had that happen several times.
Sarah was saying that I didn't reply to 2 comments on one of the videos. I was like, what? And then I can't find it anywhere, but then she shows me on the video it's there. I'm like, well, okay. And Grey Man was one of them. I was like, what? That's weird. Talking pop culture. He apparently was leaving comments all the time, and I never saw any of them. So he literally one day he screenshotted me a comment. And he goes, just in case it doesn't show up, I screenshotted this because he wanted to tell me something in the comments.
Yeah.
And then literally, I'm looking at his screenshot, and yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere on my on YouTube.
It's weird, man. I think it's just like the algorithm, the bot they use to like try to censor stuff. Sometimes they just mess up and remove normal comments for no reason.
Well, I'm wondering if it's because Neil put an email address in, and they're like, "Hey, don't do that. That's got to be spam."
I don't know. That's possible too, I guess. But I've just had like normal comments disappear before.
I noticed a lot of them, like Chop once replied a message, wrote a message, and there was a bit of swearing in it, and they kind of blocked. So I think I was able to reply to it, but it wasn't listed in my comments on my studio app and all this. I had to find it somehow.
I know it's weird because they have options like when you upload the video, if you want to allow all comments or censor comments. And even though you would click allow all comments, sometimes
Yeah,
YouTube still censors them for you. It's like, why have that option if you're not going to let us decide?
Yeah. I feel bad though. So sometimes I'll scroll down my comments and there'll be ones that I didn't reply to like a year ago. I was like, there's no way I wouldn't have replied to it. Like it just wasn't there. And now all of a sudden it appears.
That's
and
weird,
a couple
man.
people have been listed as spam as well. I keep getting one. I find them in my spam folder.
Yeah,
and
I try to remember to like check my spam every week or two just to make sure.
Yeah. So with the new, so you've been playing like the new wrestling game pretty hardcore?
Yeah. I just finished playing the showcase mode with Rey Mysterio, and it's awesome, man. They at certain points during the match, it switches to like real life footage. So it'll you'll like as you complete certain objectives that it tells you to complete, it'll morph into real life footage of them for a few minutes. And like the whole time Rey Mysterio is doing commentary over it, talking about the matches and stuff through his career. Incredible game mode, man. I hope they continue to do that for whatever characters they decide to showcase going forward.
I used to like they used to do like the general manager mode or whatever.
Yeah.
So you would have to pick the rosters. But the good thing is, and I think they mostly did it with when THQ were making them.
Yeah.
You could include your created characters on the roster, and that would show up in storylines, and that was everything to me because like
that was awesome, man.
I'm all about character creation, which is like Main Event Comics. Like his stuff, like I would have been if I was doing YouTube when I was like a teenager or whatever, like early adulthood, I would have been doing that stuff that Main Event's doing. Yeah. But without, I can't create characters like that well. So I just have.
Well, that's the good thing about community creations, man. You can go on there and just find like the perfect looking characters. But they actually brought GM mode back this year finally, but it's like really limited in what you can do in it. So if they keep it and build on it, it'll probably get back close to what it was. I'm hoping.
And what about the moves? Because I remember, I think I was telling you, I don't know if it was on one of these streams where when THQ were making the wrestling game and the UFC game, um, when you would do like create a character and you choose from the moves, there was literally like thousands of moves. So it wouldn't just have a suplex; it would have like 11 different suplexes that all look different. And then I remember when EA took over from the UFC game, instead of having like 7 versions of a kick or something, they just have one. I'm like, well, that's kind of crap.
Yeah. Yeah, the wrestling game has tons of different variations of all the moves, man. There's
Actually,
multiple different spears, suplexes, German suplexes, punches, kicks. Tons of it takes a good hour, hour and a half to go through and like set your character up with all the options. What's up,
yeah.
Comic Mag Musings?
So Bill, yeah, it used to take me ages to create a character, but that was all I was into. So
Yeah,
that was my favorite. So obviously, I stopped playing wrestling games a while back, and then eventually I got into the UFC games, and then I was just create my friends and play through career mode, and then you'd have them in the game with like full stats and things like that. It was crazy.
I played one of the UFC games back on PlayStation 3, I think. But the newest one that came out, UFC 4, was actually a free game on PlayStation Plus, and I've got it on the system. I just haven't downloaded it and played it yet.
Are you serious? Oh man, I would have got it because like this is how little I game now. That game used to be my life.
Yeah,
And now I didn't even play the latest one. I actually
really?
played it once at my friend's house because I used to go to my friend's house and we used to always every week just like play like challenge each other. And the latest one, like he plays online and stuff like that. And then I went over there and he kicked my ass. But back in the day,
Yeah.
I was pretty good.
Going.
game, yep.
What was you gonna say?
I was going to say if there's any games you're looking forward to coming out.
Oh man, well, I was looking forward to Gotham Knights, but since they removed it from like the PS4s, I don't know, man.
We were going to do that thing. We had that plan for so long
Yeah.
that we were going to stream it together.
I'm hoping to eventually get a PS5, man, but like right now, even if they were available, things are so tight I couldn't get one if I saw it in the store tomorrow. So
Yeah, I think down here, like a lot of people must be getting them, but like you've either been patient, you put your name on a list and you waited for months,
yeah,
or you got lucky. Like if you walk into a shop and say, "Do you have PlayStations?" and you walk out with one, you are a lucky son of a bitch.
yeah.
Most people are doing the orders, so but yeah, we haven't been taking the orders for a while. So
Yeah, they still got like signs up on the doors around here, like GameStop. It tells you on the door when you walk in, we do not have PS5s in stock. So evidently they got tired of people asking.
it's pretty silly though. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's been there for 2 years now.
Yeah. And they're talking about the PS5 Pros. I'm like, how are you going to produce those if you can't produce enough of the regular system?
It's like that with everything at the moment. So at work, obviously, I sell electronics, I guess, and across the board, everything there's just stuff you cannot get. Like Apple products, Dyson products. There's a lot of stuff right now. We've had no stock. When you're getting it, I'm like, I don't know.
What makes me wonder though is, are they planning on like making the so-called PS5 Pro versions with like cheaper, easier to find, or easier to make materials, and they're just going to call it Pro so they could sell it for a little more?
Yeah,
That's like my concern.
because if
Like,
it's Pro,
are these things going to start like bricking after a month of having them?
yeah, because I've always traditionally bought the first or second generation of the PlayStation. Well, PlayStation 4 had the first one. PlayStation 3 had the second one. But as time goes on, they release those like newer versions. And I remember saying to people, I was like, would they technically be better with better processors and all that stuff? And they generally people will say, no, they're worse because by that time they just want to mass produce them. So they will just cheap out on all the parts. So like the PlayStation Slim and all that sort of stuff. Like,
So I think that's like where they started going with it when they first came out with like the PS4 Pros. I feel like every console generation is going to have like a pro version of a console going forward now. It'll be like upgrading your iPhone or something.
Yeah, it'll be 8K ready. All
Yeah.
ready for that 8K goodness.
I'm waiting for like the PS7 with like real life, true to life, like hologram VR.
I really want to. So the only gaming I've really done in the last year, I mean, I played a little bit of the Miles Morales Spider-Man, but again, just like the first Spider-Man, I smashed it in like 5 sittings.
Yeah.
And then the Miles game, I've had probably about 5 sittings, but I can't play it for too long before I'm just like, oh, I'm bored. But I do enjoy playing the VR games, like I really do. Like that's a different experience than just sitting there with a controller. So I really enjoy it.
Funny,
VR.
man. Like I can't play the VR games. It messes with like I don't know what you call it, like my equilibrium. I get dizzy, I get sick on my stomach. And I found this out in the middle of a Best Buy, man. When they first came out with PlayStation VR, they had this
Yeah.
set up in a local Best Buy, and it was free to use. So I went in there and I hooked it up. I used it and I started playing. And after like 10 minutes, I started getting like dizzy, sick on my stomach. I took the headset off and I tried to head toward the bathroom, but I didn't get a couple steps and I just threw up in the middle of the Best Buy. So I never went back to that Best Buy.
Oh no!
I just quickly like, I'm out.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to clip that story. That was too good.
This was years ago, but if whoever cleaned that up ever happens to find this video, I'm so sorry.
How dare you, Russ? That's funny as.
So yeah, that's how I found out that I'm not compatible with VR gaming.
That's hilarious. I remember VR back in the day when the headsets were like this massive thing like this that you'd wear on your head, and they had it at the arcades, and it was like $15 for like 5 minutes or something like that, right? And you'd be standing in this little circular, like fenced circular thing, and I was so excited to play it. So I play it, and you're like in this world where the graphics aren't even done. It's kind of like the floor looks like a grid, you know what I mean? And the people don't have features. They're just like, like a
kind of like old school PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah, but with no features at all. So you see a guy and he's trying to shoot you. So you go to shoot him. And I'm sure, again, I've said this on the last episode where we did video games, but I pull my gun up and I shoot, and the bullet goes towards him and then just starts dropping as it doesn't even reach him. It's so bad.
Just lands at his feet.
Yeah, this little pellet just like travels and then just drops slowly. Terrible. Yeah, these are the good old days. But yeah, I can't believe how far gaming's come. Like, yeah,
I know, man. Even with like the PlayStation 4, man, some of the graphics on that, like with Last of Us Part 2, are just like mind-blowingly good, man.
Did you see that Matrix Real Engine thing, whatever it's called?
Yeah, I saw the demo of it on YouTube.
Yeah, that was out of control.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, how far can they go with that, man?
Yeah, they just have to get the movement correctly because, like, for example, animals in CG and stuff, they never look right because they never move realistically enough. Like, it's always off. People, I think they're better at doing, but I find with animals and stuff, they never move correctly. But they'll get there.
Yeah. It's funny, by like the end of the console's life cycle is usually when the best looking games tend to come out because everybody's got it like down pat when they're making the games. Like when PlayStation 3 was coming to an end and they first came out with the first Last of Us on PS3. That game looked incredible for a PS3 game.
I still haven't played it. I've got it. I got the PS4 remastered version, and I've never played it. You know what? What puts me off is A, I'm going to get scared, and B, because it's got limited bullets. I can't be out there in zombies. I've only got 5 bullets.
Yeah, it depends on like the play mode too, man. Because most of the time, you're gonna want to like sneak past them anyway, especially when there's a group of them, and they got like stronger ones called clickers that insta kill you if you don't have like a shiv to do the defensive move when they get you. But it also helps like the play modes, man, like because they have easy, regular, hard, and like crushing difficulty, which is like ridiculous. So if you like switch to easy mode, you find way more ammo.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And I'm not gonna lie, man, I had to go easy mode to beat that game the first time.
Yeah, I always prefer just to go regular because I'm not replaying no game.
Yeah. See, I like to replay games, especially if the story's good or if they have like incentive, like an alternate ending or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool if there's the ultimate ending for sure. For sure. Oh, all right, we did it. We made it to an hour.
It's easy, man, when you're talking games. There's like so much to talk about. There's still like stuff we didn't even touch on, like Metal Gear Solid, the original, Metal
I'm
Gear
sure
2. Yeah.
I'm sure this is probably just a mirror image of the last time we did this.
Probably, man.
I feel like we did talk Metal Gear Solid last time.
We might have. Like the only thing I really remember about that game is like the boss fight with Psycho Mantis, where you had to like switch your controller port or memory card port or something like that to be able to like beat him because they programmed him to read your memory card or something. It was weird.
What?
Yeah. That was like so far ahead of its time with the design of it.
Yeah, I don't really remember much about it. I remember liking the first one, thinking this is cool, but yeah, I didn't really play the other ones.
Yeah.
Because the other ones you'd watch
Yeah.
like 30 minutes of a video before you could play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that game was definitely story heavy, especially the sequel, Metal Gear 2 on the PlayStation 2. And so much of it was just watching codec screens and listening to all the video information and stuff. But it was fun too, man.
All right, let's wrap it up. I reckon. What you got? Anything coming up?
Just the daily videos. I'm gonna try to keep churning them out. Last year, my record was 151 days, and today was day 145. So I'm getting close to breaking last year's record.
And then next thing you know, like there's a power outage in your town.
A 2-day power outage. I'll be like trying to like text you on my phone and like give you my YouTube password so you can log in and do a video for me. Log into my account, man, and make a video.
Anything planned? Or just waking up every morning and coming up with something?
Nothing concrete. I brought a couple weeks ago, maybe a month now. I did another episode in the Random Read series, and I just did the review today on The Walking Dead Volume 2, and I got a comment on that asking if I could like bring back the Random Read series. So I think I'm gonna start doing that weekly again. So that'll be like one video where I'll know what I'm doing and won't have to worry about.
Yeah.
And then on Sundays, I'm doing the going through my card collection. So the other 5 days will be completely random. Whatever.
Maybe doing your top 5 video games of all time, like I did.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. That would be hard because I have so many favorites from over the years. But I could probably do that. Maybe find some clips and put them together so you can see like some actual gameplay.
I did my 5 favorites, but then I also did some honorable mentions at the end.
Yeah.
And that was back when I was using the green screen for my videos. That video looks pro. No one
I still can't do that, but I could probably like find some footage and like narrate over the top of it, maybe.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. All right. Well, I think the only video I've got is tomorrow night, which will be morning for you guys. Wait. So not tomorrow morning, but the morning after, maybe. I did my comic book community awards votes. So I literally just had the camera on while I'm filling out the form. It was pretty rough. I filmed for 45 minutes. It took me to do the voting because I was like, I don't know who to pick. It's really hard. And then I'm also thinking everyone's going to get upset with me because I didn't pick them.
So I got to do that. I still haven't gone to the site and voted yet. So I still need to do that.
Yeah, I've got that video coming out tomorrow night here. So in a bit over 24 hours, let's say 34 hours, they'll be up. It's a pretty funny video, I think. Because I was still sick when I filmed it, so I still had no voice, kind of like a half had a voice and half didn't. So, yeah. All right, well, let's wrap it up, and we'll be back here next week, I think.
Yeah, we can continue the video game conversation or think of another topic.
I think we'll revisit video games one day, but I think we'll start recycling those other things that we've done in the past. So I think we've reached that stage now that we can do the 2.0 versions of those.
Yeah, bring back the Zero Faces chat for one.
Yeah, sweet. All right. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out in the chat. We appreciate it.
See you guys next week. Peace, everybody. What's up, Johnny? Thanks for dropping in. Catch you guys later.